Hi everyone, it's Miss Gay. And surprisingly, instead of making a video for my students right now, I wanted to make a video for all of you. You're welcome to share this with your child, but I wanted to go over some really important topics that I feel like at this point in where we are with our remote learning, we're shifting gears just a little bit in now what we're tweaking. Now, before you get alarmed, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. We don't want to change anything up on anybody. But what we have noticed now, so when remote learning first started, some of our biggest challenges were making sure students had devices, had access to internet, and then navigating the different resources and digital platforms we're using so that students felt confident and comfortable using Google Classroom and Seesaw and communicating back and forth with me, and then also joining Google Meets. So now that we have fallen into a rhythm and everyone is doing really well, what we have been discussing as not only a second grade team, but also as an entire school is this is the time of year when we typically see students doing what we call this getting spring fever, or the summer slide mindset is starting to happen. So what I mean by that is even when we're going to school like normal, we start to see students mentally shutting school off. And so it's even harder and it's even more of a challenge now that this is remote learning. So we're going to do everything we can to try to encourage and motivate our students to stay engaged. I know that that's hard. And I just want to take a moment to say, I completely understand that there are so many things going on within the homes of each of my students that I have no idea about. So I want to pause just as a teacher for a moment and be a mother and say, if you're doing everything you can to balance all of the things that you have going on in your lives and in your home lives, please know that I am completely understanding of that, and I take all of that into consideration. And so if your child is missing assignments here or there, I know that you're doing the best that you can, and that is not what this is about. But so what I wanted to do is now we as teachers and we as a school, we're tweaking and just looking and reflecting on what we've done so far and asking each other, how can we make it better? How can we make it better for you as parents, for the students, for the teachers, for the staff? And that is what this is part of, this video. So what we're observing right now is we have some students who, and I'm speaking in general, we have students who are really staying engaged and motivated, getting everything accomplished, getting everything done. We have students who are less consistent, getting things done here or there, not getting everything done. And then we have some students who are getting nothing done. And I say that along with getting nothing done, but the parents think they're getting everything done. So that is something that we're trying to address right now, because we don't know what the future of school looks like by any means. We have not been giving any directives yet, but we do know that we are trying to reflect on everything we've done so far with a mindset of what can we learn now that can be impressed upon potential remote learning school in the future. So something that I've just recently heard is how can I tell if my student is actually getting everything accomplished when he or she tells me, yes, I'm done for the day. So that is what this video is going to show you. So what I have done is I am logged in right now as a student. I have enrolled my 5th grade daughter, Isabella, as a demo student for me to see what the perspective is of that student. So I'm going to be using her as a demo right now to show you what your child sees when they log into Google Classroom. So when they first log in, it has the stream, and this is where a lot of comments and discussion happens, attendance, but classwork is where everything is happening. So we want to go into, when you go into classwork, you'll see that it's the assignments are in there by the date. Now, that's not how we began it in the beginning, or that's not how I sorted it in the beginning, but that is what we've learned works really well for students and for parents. But this is what I want to show you. When you come up here to the top of the screen, you see this view your work. When you click on that, okay, your child and you can both see what assignments she has. So for example, it no longer gives a due date, because back when I did have due dates, that could just be overwhelming for students, thinking that they had to get things done by a certain time. And we're trying to give as much flexibility as possible. But what you're going to see is she has, for today, language, math, and social studies, because today is Thursday, May 15th or 14th. And so you're seeing over here that it's saying it has been assigned, but maybe she's gone in and worked on it already. Maybe she hasn't turned it in. Sometimes kids remember to turn in the lesson. Sometimes they don't. But as a teacher, I can still go in and see what they've done. And then I can give a point value for it and send it back to them, like I've checked their work. And that's what you're going to see down here. So this is the newest way of keeping track with whether students have done their work. What I do is, we're not grading things right now, and that's a whole different topic and a whole different video. But instead of grading, we're looking at what students are doing. We're giving them feedback. We're sending things back and teaching where you can do small groups. If I just did an hour-long small group a little bit ago. So you can see here that when I create a lesson, whatever the number of assignments that they have to actually physically complete to turn back in will be a point. It'll be the point value. So like, for example, Letterland must have one assignment that physically has to be done and turned back in. Let's go down. So science has 2. And so even though she is saying she didn't turn it in, I still go in and look at it, and I can give those points showing what she's done. So let's look at this for example. So science, she has 1 out of 2. So if I go there, I can say, oh, I've given her a comment. I see that you completed the Google form. Good job. Please complete the seesaw assignment. If I wanted to see it in further detail, I could click on View Details, and then that shows everything in its entirety. Okay, come back over here for a second. So this is a great way for you as a parent, when you log in or your child logs into his or her Google Classroom, you go to classwork, view your work. That's gold for you. And then this is where you can see everything, how your child is doing, as well as what maybe your child hasn't done. And then when you click on that, you can continue to see further a comment from me, or go in even further by View Details to see what exactly it is. Now, here's where I'm going to be doing something new for you as a parent. I'm leaving this perspective of Isabella right now, and I'm going to go to something I'm going to share with you guys. This is a demo for Isabella. So I have created this Google Doc that is going to have the last few weeks of school in one document, and it will be continuously changing and updating based on how your child is doing. Because I know for you as parents, it's hard. You don't know what they've done or what they haven't done. All of this is new territory for everybody. So what I've done is I've created this table, and it gives you the week at a glance. And so as of right now, I can see easily that Isabella needs to complete Letterland and one part of the assignment for science on Monday, and math for Tuesday. Looks like Wednesday she got everything done. So you will, I'm going to scroll down and show you. So here's where you would see next week and the following week, and then that week of June 1st through the 5th. I know that I don't have the final week of school on here. That's because that is still being discussed. Not that we won't have school, but just we're trying to plan some fun things that week that won't have assignments that are required to come back. So how you could utilize this information is I will be sending this to each one of you, and I will also be including it in your child's Google Classroom, so then he or she can be independently looking in and checking in on this as well. And you'll see that when they submit something to me, I will go in and change this to complete and do a 1 out of 1. They completed one assignment out of the 1 assignments that were required. So by sending you the link to this document, I won't have to keep emailing you and updating you because it's all going to be within this one document. So you would come back to the same link. So you look at the same document for next week and for the following week. I hope that this helps. I am not trying to make this, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible because I completely get it and my heart goes out to all of my students and all of their parents because this has been a challenging time. And I know that we're going to do the best that we can. If your child doesn't get everything complete, please know I'm not sitting here in my office looking and saying, oh, you've got 3 incompletes. No, I get it. I get the difficulty, but I do want to continue to hold my students to the highest expectations because they can rise to them, and I know that they can. And I want to continue to impress upon them to be as successful as they can be rolling into 3rd grade. So I hope this helps. When you watch the video, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You are not bothering me. I am your child's teacher, and you are your child's best advocate. So if you have any questions or any concerns or just anything, if you have a quick word of encouragement, if you want to share something with me that's going well, I love to hear that too. So just let me know if you have any questions. I'll be sending this out to you as well as I'm working on a survey because that gives us really great feedback from your perspective as to how things are going. So with that being said, instead of saying bye boys and girls, I'm going to be saying bye families.